Hi, this is Uma Devi. Today we are going to see about the heat transfer. In this video, we are going to see about modes of heat transfer, phase transition, some real life examples, heat equation, thermal control, and some cooling techniques. Introduction. Heat is the form of energy and heat transfer is the movement of heat across the boundary of the system due to the temperature difference between the system and the surrounding. Heat can also take place within the system due to the temperature difference at various points inside the system. Heat always moves from warmer place to cooler place. Heat objects in the cooler room will cool to the room temperature and cold objects in the warmer room will heat up to the room temperature. Heat has the unit joule. Next, modes of heat transfer. There are three modes of heat transfer: conduction, convection, and radiation. First, convection. Convection is the transfer of heat between the substances that are in direct contact with each other. It can be expressed by Fourier's law, that is Q is equal to minus Ka into dt by dx. Here K is the thermal capacity of the material, A is the area of the material, and T is the temperature. Next, convection. Convection is the process by which thermal energy is transferred between fluid molecules. It can be expressed by Newton's law of cooling, that is dq by dt is equal to Ha delta T of T. Here H is the heat coefficient. Next, radiation. The electromagnetic wave which is propagated as a result of thermal difference between the heat exchanging bodies is called the radiation. There is no need of media here. Next, convection mode of heat transfer. It is a vast area of research. Here we are having three modes of convection heat transfer: free convection, forced convection, and mixed convection. Free convection. The fluid motion is caused by buoyancy force that results from the density difference due to the variation of temperature in the fluid. Example, cooling of boiled egg in air. Next, forced convection. It is observed when a fluid is forced to flow over a surface by the external source, such as fan, string, pumps, creating an artificial induced convection current. Example, cooling of boiled egg in a fan air. Next, the mixed convection. When both the free convection and the forced convection effects are significant and neither of the two can be neglected. This process is called mixed convection. Next, phase transition. There are four fundamental states of matter: solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. First, freezing. Freezing is a phase transition where a liquid turns into a solid when its temperature is lowered below its freezing point. Freezing means the solidification phase change of liquid or the liquid content of a substance, usually due to cooling. The boiling point of the substance is the temperature at which the vapor pressure of the liquid equal to the pressure surrounding the liquid. Next, sublimation. Sublimation is the transition of substance directly from the solid to the gaseous state without passing through the solid state. The reverse process of sublimation is deposition or desublimation, in which a substance passes directly from a gas to the solid phase. Next, condensation. Condensation occurs when a vapor is cooled and changed its phase to a liquid. During condensation, the latent heat of vaporization must be released. Melting or fusion. In melting process, it is a physical process that results in the phase transition of a substance from solid to the liquid. It occurs when the internal energy of the solid increases, typically by the application of the heat or a pressure, which increases the substance temperature to the melting point. Finally, the plasma. Plasma is the ionized gas. A gas with sufficient energy is provided to free electrons from the atoms or molecules and to allow both the species, ions and electrons to coexist. The important thing is plasma are the most common state of matter in the universe. Next, we are going to see about an example: heat transfer in human body. Here, for a heat transfer from the outer surface of the body, the convection mechanism depends on the surface area of the body, the velocity of the air, and the temperature gradient between the surface of the skin and the evident air. The normal body temperature is approximately 37 degrees Celsius. Heat transfer occurs more readily when the temperature of the surrounding is sufficiently less than the normal body temperature. This concept explains why the person feels cold when not enough covering is worn when exposed in a cold environment. Clothing can be considered an insulator which provides thermal resistance to the heat flow over the covered portion of the body. This thermal resistance causes the temperature on the surface of the clothing to be less than the temperature on the surface on the skin. This smaller temperature gradient between the surface temperature and the ambient temperature will cause a lower rate of the heat transfer than if the skin were not covered. In order to ensure that one portion of the body is not sufficiently hotter than another portion, heat must be distributed evenly through the bodily tissues. Blood flow through blood vessels act as a convective flow and help to provide any buildup of excess heat inside the tissue of the body. Latent heat loss is nothing but the evaporative heat loss. It accounts for a large fraction of the heat loss from the body. When the core temperature of the body increases, the body triggers sweat glands in the skin to bring additional moisture to the surface of the skin. The liquid is then transferred into vapor when it removes heat from the surface of the body. This flow of blood through the vessel can be modulated as a pipe flow in an engineering system. The heat carried out by the blood is determined by the temperature of the surrounding tissue, the diameter of the blood vessel, the thickness of the fluid, velocity of the flow, and the heat transfer coefficient of the blood. The velocity, blood vessel diameter, and the fluid thickness can also be related with the Rayleigh number, which is a dimensionless number used in fluid mechanics to characterize the fluid flow of motion. The rate of evaporation, heat loss, is directly related to the vapor pressure to the skin surface and the amount of the moisture present on the skin. Therefore, the maximum of the heat transfer will occur when the skin is completely wet. The body continuously loses water by evaporation, but the most significant amount of the heat loss occurs during the period of increased physical activity. Next example is the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is the process by which the thermal radiation from a planetary surface is absorbed by the atmospheric greenhouse gases and is re-radiated in all directions. Since part of this re-radiation is back towards the surface and the lower atmosphere, it results in the evaluation of the average surface temperature above. Next is heat equation. Heat equation is an important partial differential equation that describes the distribution of heat or the variation in temperature is given in region over time. In some cases, we can find the exact solution of the equation, and in some other cases, it should be solved numerically using computation methods such as DEM method based and the thermal or reactive particulate system. It is written as du by dt is equal to del u. Next, thermal control. From sophisticated satellite, rocket and aircrafts to simple applications for daily use like TV, home computer and cell phone depends on the electronic devices for their proper functioning. All the electronic devices generate heat due to the current flow through them. Unless the cooling system is properly designed and operated, high rate of heat generation will result in high operating temperature of the equipment, which results in the failure of the components. Therefore, thermal control has become increasingly important in the designing and operating of the electronic equipments. Next, we are going to see about some cooling techniques, namely evaporative cooling, laser cooling, magnetic cooling, radiative cooling. First of all, evaporative cooling. Evaporative cooling happens when vapor is added to the surrounding air and the energy needed to evaporate the water is taken from the air in the form of sensible heat and converted to the latent heat, while the air remains at a constant enthalpy. Latent heat describes the amount of heat that is needed to evaporate the liquid. This heat comes from the liquid itself and the surrounding gas and surfaces. The greater the difference between the two temperatures, the greater the evaporative cooling effect. When the temperature are the same, no net evaporation of the water occurs. Thus, there is no cooling effect. Next, laser cooling. In quantum physics, laser cooling is used to achieve temperature of near absolute zero of atom and molecule sample to observe unique quantum effect. Doppler cooling is the most common method of laser cooling. Next, magnetic cooling. Magnetic cooling is a process of lowering the temperature of the group of atoms after pre-cooled by the method such as laser cooling. Magnetic refrigeration cools below 0 degree Kelvin by using the magnetocaloric effect. Next, radiative cooling. Radiative cooling is a process by which the body loses heat by radiation. Outgoing energy is an important effect in the energy Earth's budget. In the case of Earth atmospheric system, it refers to the process by which long wave is emitted to balance the absorption of short wave from the sun. The thermosphere cools to space primarily by infrared energy radiated by the carbon dioxide. Convection transport of heat and the evaporative transport of latent heat both remove the heat from the surface and redistribute it at the atmosphere. In a nutshell, we have learned about heat and mode of heat transfer, phase transition due to heat, real life examples, heat equation, and some cooling techniques. Thank you everyone.